Okay, let's take a look at your D functions. These are the database functions. They're a little bit similar to functions you've seen before in that you can use them for summing, averaging, finding the maximum and the minimum values. So what I've got is a database here, and you can see it's got a list of computers, fictitious shop and fictitious computers. If I've used one that already exists, that's just unfortunately a mistake, but these are meant to be fictitious down the side here, and you can see I've got 2 different models of zoom, 2 different models of pair, 2 different models of light speed. I've got the hard drive in gigabytes, so that's a terabyte, that one, that's 1000. Processor speed, gigabytes for the RAM, the memory, how many I've got in stock of each of those, and the price for those models. Up at the top here, you'll see I've got like a duplicate area just here. So the reason for that, that's my criteria. So what I'm going to be able to do is say type in pair here, and it's not case sensitive. And then I'm going to use my functions like DSUM and DAVERAGE, DMAX and DMIN to find out how many I've got in stock, the average price, the highest price, and also the lowest price. So I'm going to start off by just going into my insert function here. And it is in this category here called database, which I was already in. You can also type it up at the top here. So I can type in DSUM. And there it is. And I'm just going to double click on it to start it up. So there we go. Here's my dialog box. So what I'm doing is I'm actually looking for how many I've got in stock. So it's based on this quantity here. So the database is all of your data that you've got in here. So you need to highlight that, including this top row as well. The field, that's the field that you're doing the calculation on. So in this case, it's the quantity. Now you don't highlight the whole column. You just click on that one cell called quantity. That's where a lot of people go wrong. If you happen to be doing the ECGL exams, this is where people go wrong. They choose the whole column. So just be aware of that. Practice this one. The criteria, that's the block at the top here, with also the row where the data is going to go. If you've got no data in there, it'll find everything. And you'll see it's already pulling up, indicating here, and in the formula result, the number 10. If I was to look at pair, you would see there's 8 and 2, so it's coming up with 10, that's correct. So let's click on OK. So if I was to change that to zoom, I can instantly see it changes it to 14. Quick check here. Zoom 10 and 4. You'll notice I always use small examples for this. It's always good to be able to test that kind of thing here. If I was to delete that, you'll see it's picking up 54, which is all of these. That's the total. So blank is nothing. So let's put pair back in there. I want to get the average price. Very similar. Going to click over here. Going to go into my insert function. Again, now I'm going to go into my database category, because then you can see that there are quite a few here, and you can see DAVERAGE is at the top. You've got count A, so if you've done those different functions, count and count A, you'll know about those, max and min for the highest and lowest, and you'll see there's a few others down here as well. So we've already used DSUM, I'm now going to use DAVERAGE, and you'll see very similar indeed. Again, got to select the database, that's the first thing. The average price this time is just this column here. I'm just going to choose price there, and the criteria is based on this here, so I can click on OK. Right, so there you go, there's your average price. Now just to have a quick look at the criteria, let's get rid of that pair there, and let's say I want it to tell me all of those, the average price and the amount in stock of those with a hard drive of 1000. So I can type in 1000 there. It could be that maybe I don't want to know that. I want to know the price. I want to see all of those, say less than 1000 in price. And you just use your greater than and less than. So there's the less than. If I want to do over 1000, it's that. And if I want to do greater than or equal to 1000, so that actually includes the 1000, that does it like that. So that's quite useful. However, there is also, we may want to know a range. So we might want to find all of those, say greater than or equal to 500. Let's make it 700. And I also want to do it with those that are less than and equal to 1000. So I'm looking for things between 700 and 1000 whatever's dollars, pounds in price. So I'm going to change that price. I'm now going to have two columns there that say price. I'm going to do less than or equal to 1,000. So this is how you can do a range. So you can see it's greater than or equal to and less than. But what we're going to need to do is change the criteria range here. So I'm just going to click here and I'm going to click on my insert function. Here's my criteria, it only goes up to F2. I'm just going to change that to go across to G2. I could have typed it in, but it's easier to click and drag it. So there you go. That is how you can do that. And it doesn't matter now if I actually make both of those blank and then go back here to the pair option. It just does it. It doesn't matter that these are left blank here at all. So for the highest price, I am now going to do the same again. I'm going to go insert function. For this one, it's DMAX. Click on OK. Once again, it's the database. And you've got your field. And for this, I'm just going to click on price again because that's the column that we're doing the calculation on. Don't forget, never highlight the whole column, just the title of the column. And the criteria is that. You could have, because it's only doing this pair bit, you could have just highlighted that, but you might want to change it. So click on OK. So just so you know, I could go for a pair that has got at least, say, 1,000. So you can actually put multiple criteria going across the top here. Okay, so there's the highest price. One more, lowest price. You'll get the idea now. You can go away and do that. Now it's a case of just fiddling around with the criteria. So just a little bit more on the criteria in just a moment, and you can then go away and try it. So click on that, click on OK, and there, that's done it. So what if I wanted to find out, let's say I had someone who was interested in, say, a pair or a zoom. They were their two preferred ones, and I want to see how many were in stock of that. Well, I've put another row here into the criteria, but clearly it's not selected. I'm not making a change across the top. So what you need to do, click here, click on that. Your criteria now has an extra row, so I'm just going to highlight it, do that. It now goes from A1 to G3. Click on OK, and you can see it's now picking up both of them. Important thing, if you do get rid of this, you do need to now change your criteria back. So you would have to, same again if you didn't need, if you just want to put the one price in, you might have to change that. So just be aware of the fact that you might have to change your criteria range when you make changes. Okay, otherwise it might not appear right. Always kind of do a little bit of a quick mental calculation in your head if you can. Have a look at the number. If you think actually that looks miles off, go and have a look at what you've got going on in your function. So there you have it. There are the D functions in Excel.